Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. What I'm going to talk about are Edison homes and standards. Well, Edison phonographs with clips that hold the lid on the outside. So let's start with the cabinet. This is an Edison home, mid-1890s, probably 98, 99. And what we did on this was we cleaned it with goop twice. Then we didn't use Howard's Restore because we wanted to save more of the patina and the look of the cabinet. So what we did was we waxed it about 3 times instead with Howard's Feed and Wax. And what this has accomplished is, some people like to have us do this, this has kept all the patina in the machine and you have a good reflection and a really nice finish. So this looks all original, but it doesn't look overdone. A little bit of things about it is we had a little bit of water damage here. This is rough. And you can see where the water dripped out of the hinge system, the lock system, and came down here. The other topic on these are the latches are notoriously weak because these little wood screws fall out of them, these little baby wood screws, and they're really, really small. The machine, the wood gets hard, it expands, contracts over 100 years, and these literally fall out, and one had fallen out the back. So you need to come by with a small screwdriver and just gently give all those a little twist, and you'll find they'll be loose. One other thing we did was that these machines, like this home, had these rubber cushioners here on all 4 corners. And I have an original here, and you can see the hole in it, and I'll flip it over like this. Well, Edison just took a chunk of rubber and tacked them down. So what happens is the rubber compresses, it gets hard, and the tack comes up. And then it hits the motorboard base here, and then you start to get vibration and noise from your motor. So we replaced those with bicycle inner tube that I've talked about before. The next thing is on the motor. This is your on-off switch here, and I replaced this one with leather instead of felt because I like leather better on them. But you never want to lock them down when you're done. You don't want to lock it and leave it, because what happens is
you don't want to leave the brake on.
You don't want to leave the brake on, because what happens over time is that the acid in the oil, and this is why I use sewing machine oil because it's low acid, it eats the pressure, just eats a little mark into the back of your governor. So you'll take your governor apart and you'll see a little shiny spot. Go, wow, that's from the brake system. The other thing is, what I do on these, the early ones, is I put a nut on this for the speed control right here. And that keeps this locked in place. And the other little joke is, if you have phonograph friends and you want to mess with them, you go by when they're not looking and you jack off their speed control a little, and then next time they play a record, I don't know why it's not at the right RPM. That's a phonograph joke. And you can tell that this one's early because this has the brass speed control system in here. The other thing is, some homes have this and some homes don't have this. And you'll see this little hole in the bed plate right there. And there's 4 little holes there. So what Edison had done, and it matches up with the corners of the top casting, that's the rubber cushioner when you put the screws in to bolt in. And what I use is a little bit of bicycle inner tube to quiet everything down. I put those in all 4 little corners. I cut little pieces and then mount everything down on that, like this. On this machine, we redid the bed plate. I redid this and striped this for the customer that he wanted, but it matches here and here. He wanted the same size fruit-de-lis here. So you can't tell the difference from clean to repainted and restriped on the bed plate. And my angel just loves the brass mandrel. This is a lot of fun, and these are things you can look at if you have an early Edison with the clips on the outside and how to do those. One thing is that on the speed control about the nut, the later ones, the screw that goes in, they sliced it and it expanded like this to give you tension so it wouldn't wobble around. And these things always wobble, and that's why I do the nut. You know, I love this hobby. I love pointing things out, and that's my tip for the day.